Have you ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly capture a woman's full attention, while others struggle to be noticed at all? Here's a question for you. Have you ever met someone who wasn't particularly good-looking, but still had women completely drawn to them? Drop your answer in the comments because those stories often reveal something important about human psychology. Psychologists remind us that obsession doesn't come from looks alone. It's built from a combination of confidence, mystery, emotional connection, and consistency. In fact, research shows that women are often more influenced by how a man makes them feel than by any external trait. That means any man can create deep attraction if he understands the principles behind it. In this video, we'll break down the key psychological triggers that can make a woman think about you constantly. From the subtle ways you carry yourself to the emotional experiences you create, these are timeless strategies backed by both science and real-world examples. By the end, you'll see why attraction is less about chasing and more about becoming someone unforgettable. And if you stay with me until the end, write "Sci-Insight" in the comments. I'll know you're ready to put these lessons into action. When it comes to attraction, confidence is the foundation. A man who walks into a room with calm assurance and self-belief instantly stands out, even if he says nothing at all. Women pick up on this energy faster than most men realize. It's not arrogance. It's the steady, quiet presence of someone who knows who he is and doesn't need to prove it. Psychologists explain that confidence signals security. In evolutionary terms, it shows that you can handle challenges and remain grounded under pressure. For example, imagine two men speaking to the same woman. One fidgets, avoids eye contact, and rushes his words. The other maintains steady eye contact, speaks slowly, and smiles with ease. The second man may not be better looking, but his presence communicates stability, which is far more attractive. Another key element is body language. Upright posture, relaxed shoulders, and purposeful movements send signals of self-assurance without a single word. Think about how leaders carry themselves. They don't need to demand attention. Their presence naturally attracts it. The same principle applies in relationships. Women notice how you carry yourself long before they listen to what you say. Confidence also shapes how you respond to setbacks. A man who laughs off small mistakes instead of crumbling under embarrassment demonstrates resilience. For instance, if you drop your phone in public and simply joke about it instead of panicking, you show emotional strength. Women often interpret this as a sign that you can handle bigger challenges too, which deepens respect and attraction. But presence is more than just posture or tone. It's about being fully engaged in the moment. When you listen without distraction, maintain eye contact, and respond with genuine curiosity, you create a sense of importance around the interaction. That focus makes a woman feel seen and valued, which is one of the most powerful triggers of obsession. What's important here is balance. Overconfidence can come across as arrogance, while genuine confidence inspires trust. Presence doesn't mean dominating the room. It means radiating calm strength, whether you're in a crowd or one-on-one. Women are deeply attuned to this difference. So here's the question. When you walk into a room, do people notice your presence before you even speak? If not, what's one small change you could make? Posture, eye contact, or mindset that would shift the energy you project? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to see what confidence means to you. One of the strongest psychological triggers in attraction is mystery. When everything about you is immediately available, interest fades quickly. But when a woman senses there's more beneath the surface, more to learn, more to uncover, that curiosity turns into intrigue. Mystery doesn't mean being secretive for no reason. It means not oversharing, leaving space for her to wonder and imagine. Psychologists call this the curiosity gap. It's the same principle that makes a gripping story or movie impossible to turn off. You want to know what happens next. In relationships, this means giving enough of yourself to spark connection, but not so much that there's nothing left to discover. For example, instead of telling your whole life story on the first meeting, you reveal pieces slowly, letting her connect the dots. Think of it like music. A song is more powerful when it builds tension before the chorus. In the same way, mystery creates rhythm in human connection. A man who doesn't feel the need to explain every detail or constantly seek validation communicates strength. He's comfortable letting silence hang or letting her ask questions instead of rushing to fill the space. That calm restraint is deeply attractive. Another key point is unpredictability. Not in a reckless way, but in the sense that she can't fully predict how you'll surprise her next. Maybe you introduce her to a new experience, share an unusual perspective, or simply maintain interests outside the relationship. This keeps her attention anchored because she realizes she hasn't figured you out completely. Modern examples make this clear. A man who is always available, always responding instantly and always saying yes may seem nice, but often he loses intrigue. Contrast that with someone who balances attentiveness with independence. She'll think about him more because she's not fully certain when or how he'll engage. That small uncertainty fuels obsession. Mystery, however, isn't about playing games or withholding affection. It's about living a life that has depth, passions, and layers beyond the relationship. When a woman sees that you have your own path, your own discipline, and a sense of independence, she naturally becomes more drawn to you. Curiosity thrives where there's something worth discovering. So here's the question. Do you think you reveal too much too soon when meeting someone new? Or do you naturally leave space for curiosity to grow? Share your experience in the comments. You might help someone else realize how powerful mystery can really be. At the core of female psychology lies one undeniable truth. Women are far more likely to become obsessed with how a man makes them feel than with what he says or even what he looks like. Attraction may start with curiosity, but obsession grows when emotions are engaged. If you can spark joy, safety, excitement, or even just a deep sense of being understood, you become unforgettable in her mind. Psychologists explain this through the concept of emotional imprinting. The brain remembers experiences that carry strong feelings far more vividly than neutral ones. For example, if every time she's with you she laughs, feels supported, or discovers something new about herself, those emotions anchor you in her memory. Later, even when you're not around, her mind replays those feelings, and with them, thoughts of you. Consider this scenario. You're listening to her after a stressful day, not just nodding along, but truly engaging with empathy. She leaves the conversation lighter than she came in. That relief becomes linked with you. Or maybe you bring playful energy into ordinary situations, like joking around at the grocery store, turning small moments into memories. These emotional spikes are what make her think about you again and again. But it's not only about positive emotions. Sometimes a little bit of tension, teasing, playful challenges, or even the mystery of not knowing exactly how you'll respond can heighten attraction. Women often become more engaged when their emotions are stirred in different ways. The key is balance. Too much negativity creates distance, but a mix of comfort and excitement keeps her invested. Modern psychology refers to this as the peak end rule. People remember experiences based on the strongest emotion, the peak, and the final impression, the end. If you consistently leave her feeling good at the end of interactions, whether through laughter, warmth, or even a thoughtful goodbye, she's far more likely to think of you afterward. Ultimately, obsession isn't about perfection. It's about creating a range of emotional experiences that set you apart. If she feels more alive, more seen, and more herself when she's with you, then her mind naturally circles back to you, even when you're not present. So ask yourself, when people spend time with you, do they leave feeling better, lighter, or more inspired than before? Share your reflections in the comments, because that's the real secret to becoming unforgettable. If mystery creates curiosity, then consistency builds trust, and together they form the foundation of lasting attraction. Women may feel sparks of interest quickly, but obsession develops when a man shows that his behavior isn't random or unstable. Reliability is the quiet force that makes her feel safe enough to invest her emotions, and once that security is established, her attachment deepens. Psychologists studying attachment theory highlight how predictable, steady behavior creates feelings of security. For example, if you say you'll call and you actually do, or if you show up on time without making excuses, those small actions speak louder than any grand gesture. Inconsistency, on the other hand, creates anxiety, which slowly erodes attraction. Think of two scenarios. In the first, a man is exciting but unreliable, sometimes affectionate, sometimes distant, always leaving her guessing. In the second, a man is confident, fun, but also steady. She knows he means what he says and follows through. The first may create short-term intrigue, but the second builds the kind of lasting pull that grows into obsession. Consistency doesn't mean being predictable in a boring way. It means your values, respect, and emotional presence remain steady while your actions still bring variety and excitement. For instance, she knows you won't disappear without explanation, but she also knows you'll surprise her with a new idea for a date or an unexpected compliment. That balance is magnetic. Another key point is emotional reliability. Life brings stress and conflict, and a woman pays close attention to how you respond under pressure. If you remain calm, respectful, and thoughtful instead of lashing out, she sees you as someone she can rely on long-term. That emotional steadiness is one of the deepest drivers of attachment. Modern psychology even shows that reliability creates emotional safety, a condition where people can relax into relationships instead of guarding themselves. When a woman doesn't have to second-guess your intentions, her focus shifts from questioning you to simply enjoying your presence. That's when her thoughts start circling back to you, even when you're not there. So here's a reflection for you. When people think of you, do they think of someone steady and reliable, or someone unpredictable? Share your thoughts in the comments, because consistency might just be the most underrated ingredient in attraction. Sometimes the strongest attraction isn't created by what you say, but by the energy you project in silence. Subtle body language, controlled pauses, and the way you hold yourself can create powerful tension that keeps a woman intrigued. In fact, psychologists have found that nonverbal communication often carries more impact than spoken words when it comes to attraction. Eye contact is one of the most effective tools here. Holding her gaze for a second longer than usual, without rushing to look away, creates intensity. It signals confidence, interest, and calm control. Combine this with a slight smile or relaxed posture, and suddenly the room feels charged, even if you haven't spoken a word. Another powerful technique is controlled silence. Instead of filling every pause in conversation, let moments breathe. This not only shows that you're comfortable with yourself, but it also forces her to lean in, both physically and emotionally. That quiet tension can be far more engaging than constant chatter. Proximity also plays a role. Standing or sitting just a little closer without invading her space naturally raises the level of intimacy. Research shows that when someone you're attracted to enters your personal space, your heart rate increases and your attention sharpens. By being subtly closer, you create an atmosphere where connection feels unavoidable. Think of a real-life example. Two people are laughing at a cafe. The man leans slightly forward, lowers his voice, and holds eye contact as he finishes a sentence. Without saying anything dramatic, he's created an intimate moment. That small, silent shift lingers in her memory far more than the actual words he used. What's important is balance. Overdoing tension can feel uncomfortable or even intimidating. But when combined with warmth and authenticity, it becomes magnetic. The right mix of silence, eye contact, and presence makes her wonder about you long after the moment has passed. So here's the question. Have you ever experienced a moment where silence or eye contact said more than words ever could? Share your story in the comments. You might help others realize how powerful these subtle signals truly are. Attraction can spark quickly, but obsession, the kind where she keeps thinking about you, only lasts if it's nurtured into something deeper. Many men mistake initial chemistry for lasting connection. But female psychology shows that long-term desire is built on a combination of emotional consistency, challenge, and growth. If you can create these layers, you move from being a passing interest to someone unforgettable. The first step is building emotional depth. Women may be drawn to surface qualities like looks or charm at first, but over time, what keeps them invested is how you make them feel secure, valued, and understood. For example, consistently listening to her perspective, remembering small details she shares, and supporting her ambitions shows that your attraction isn't shallow. It's meaningful. Another key is maintaining challenge. This doesn't mean playing games, but continuing to grow and evolve as a person. When you pursue your own goals, improve your skills, and bring new experiences into the relationship, you prevent things from going stagnant. A woman becomes more invested when she sees that being with you means an ongoing journey, not a finished story. Think of it like fitness. You don't stop exercising after one good workout. You keep training to maintain and build strength. Relationships work the same way. Desire is sustained when both people continue investing in themselves and each other. Schopenhauer might say desire fades when it's fulfilled, but psychology shows that with effort and creativity, it can transform into something lasting. Reliability also plays a crucial role. Over time, she'll notice not just how exciting you are, but how steady you remain when life gets difficult. A man who stays calm under pressure and supports her during challenges creates emotional security, a foundation that makes her feel safe enough to open up fully. That security, paradoxically, makes desire stronger, not weaker. Finally, long-term desire thrives on balance. Too much predictability creates boredom, but too much chaos creates stress. The sweet spot is stability combined with surprise, being the man she can rely on while still surprising her with new sides of yourself. That mix is what keeps her thoughts returning to you long after the initial spark. So here's the reflection. Do you focus more on sparking attraction or on sustaining it? Share your answer in the comments, because real power lies not just in making her notice you, but in making her never want to forget you. Attraction might begin with confidence, mystery, or a spark of tension. But lasting desire is built on something deeper, the way you carry yourself, the emotions you create, and the consistency you show over time. When a woman feels both excitement and security in your presence, she doesn't just notice you, she keeps thinking about you long after you're gone. That's the difference between temporary interest and real obsession. The key takeaway is simple. Don't chase, don't over-explain, and don't try to impress with shallow gestures. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man whose presence speaks louder than words, steady, intriguing, and emotionally impactful. When you master that balance, obsession isn't something you force. It's something that happens naturally. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And to show me you stayed with this video until the end, write Psy Insight below. Your words might help someone else discover the real psychology of lasting attraction.